All right, we're live again.
Let's try this again. Once more feelings, chaps. We did everything right. Okay, this is not our fault. This is not Steve's fault. It's Restream's fault because they're the ones that booted us off. It's not even YouTube's fault. That's unusual. It could be the UK government's fault. They could be spiking the stream.
It could be.
To stop me from being a truth teller.
Okay, woo.
Strange goings on over at the Steve household.
There is. I don't know how long of a from the time I say something here till it's like about a minute of space between I do it and then it shows up on YouTube.
Okay, I mean, there's normally a 17-second delay. I mean, it maybe just be that. Outcast Comics, how you doing, man? We're having fun. We're having technical issues here.
Hey, bud. I'm glad somebody's here. Thank you.
We're here. Don't worry. Okay, we got one person. This is it. That's all we need. We can end the stream now. Mission accomplished.
We have done what we needed to. Now we can just get more. See if I can't drum up more of an audience here.
We got a reason now. We can say, normally there's 10,000 people watching, but they couldn't today because they couldn't get on the stream.
Exactly. There's something funny going on, and it's somebody else's fault. The internet probably, you know what it is, since I'm going to be talking a lot of trash about certain things, someone's probably trying to keep me from talking about it.
That's what it is. It's a deep state conspiracy.
Well, I was starting to say about how, good a day, a week I was having. As soon as I said, hey, I'm having a good week, bam.
Well, look, we got Amy as well. Look, we got two people. We got two active viewers. So they've got past the great firewall of YouTube. Yeah, or UK. I mean, we're getting one of those anyway, Steve. I don't know if you've seen the reports. It'll be a great firewall of UK for the kids.
Oh, yes. For the children. Won't someone please think of the children?
We are. We're thinking of the kids. That's why everything will be blocked.
You know what shouldn't be blocked for kids? Deadlock.
We're going to say something else then. Do you know what shouldn't be blocked for kids?
What?
Something gruffy. Just completely flatline any chance of us getting back up and running again.
Okay, well, despite what's going on, Amy says, glad to see you doing well.
God bless.
If you didn't hear before, Amy, Chris got his washer dryer situation all fixed, so he's up and running.
But the cost of that was we can't run the stream properly. You have to give and take. We can wash clothes now, but we can't stream.
Can't stream. Well, I think we should press on.
Yes, let's do it. Like in Lord of the Rings, against all odds.
Yes. Let's take a look at some stuff that I think is funny or just sad, to tell you the truth.
Perspective.
Hold on one sec. I got to take care of some family issues. You guys, that's not what I wanted. That is not what I wanted. Yep. This has got me all thrown off now. I have no idea what's going on.
But that's what makes it great, yeah? The suspense. Doing it live. Well, who knows what could happen?
We're just doing all kinds of crazy stuff right now.
Exactly.
Oh, so Tony Gilroy. Apparently, he wants us to think Andor is Space Jesus.
I'm sure that is what he wants us to think. However, I have news for him.
Here in this Inverse article, it talks about how Andor is just a refreshing addition to canon, that since most of the Star Wars has been, the Skywalker stuff, it's nice to see Andor. And as a matter of fact, Andor might have surpassed the Skywalkers as the most important character in the saga. I think whoever's writing this article is on crack.
Just taking a second to process that, just oh boy, it's shit.
Yeah.
If you like it, you like it. That's fine. I'll never judge anyone for. I like a lot of stuff that isn't popular. Like New Wednesday next week. I can't wait for that. I get it, but there are some things. There are some things that are not like the others, and this is one of those cases, I believe.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of Andor. I thought Andor has been a mediocre at best addition to the fake Star Wars. I mean, it's fake Star Wars inside another fake Star Wars thing. It's all bad. But to say that the bad thing is surpassing the good thing, that's just insane. We have Mr. Gilroy himself saying here how the actor Diego Luna, he's a masterful ground-up actor. His innate decency and soulfulness is hard to hide. We need Star Wars Jesus, he says. I need a Messiah.
Well, if you need faith, then go to a church.
Yeah.
You're dealing with Star Wars here, you fucking idiot.
The thing that I've heard a lot of people say they like about Andor is, well, there's no force in it. It's just some guy doing.
So then it's just boring fucking sci-fi, then, isn't it? Just literally call it something else, then.
Exactly. I made the point. I made the point before that if you take the force out of Star Wars, then you just have a boring, just run-of-the-mill sci-fi TV show.
Why
that anybody can make? And I got blasted for that. I got blasted.
Yeah, I bet you did
years ago.
But why bother? Seriously, why? I can almost understand it to a certain degree. Okay, you in book or comic form, or you have a TV. Like you have a TV series, and it'll have like one episode from the perspective of a character you don't normally see from, or something like that. Fine. But to make an entire series, or I don't even know if it's a series or a film. I didn't even know actually that it didn't have one of the most important components of Star Wars, the Force in it. So good thing I didn't watch it, because it would have bored the shit out of me.
I mean, that's the thing. When season 1 came around, the biggest complaint people had was it's boring. It is super dry. It's hard to get through. And then they Disney Plus decided to put the first 3 episodes on every free channel they had. They put it out on ABC. They put it out on Freeform. They put it out on anything that you can get it for free. They put it out just in the hopes that people would watch the first 3 episodes for free and say, hey, I want to sign up for Disney Plus, or I want to go watch it on Disney Plus.
They're doing it. I mean, it's recent, but they're doing it. I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, didn't we, on NTL? They're doing this in the UK with one of the public broadcasters. When you go on that app, there is a selection of Disney Plus content, and there's like a couple of episodes from each thing. So, I mean, that isn't necessarily an smart business strategy, but when the things that you're trying to get people to watch is garbage, then that is kind of a problem.
I mean, the only other time Disney Plus has done this is with the Ms. Marvel TV show. When nobody watched that, they dumped a couple episodes on free TV in the hopes that would drum up some interest, and it didn't work.
I wonder why. It seemed like it was going so well.
And the funny thing is, the people there are people out there who dislike the sequel trilogy, and they say how bad Star Wars is, yet they turned around and they said, "Oh, but Andor's great." How can you dislike everything Disney Star Wars, but turn around and go, "I like that one little thing"?
Because maybe they think that they are a higher class of Star Wars fan because they like Star Wars that doesn't have the Force in it. Okay, it's grittier, it's down to earth. I was like, well, no, then it's just like every other fucking TV show going.
Yeah, they're much more highbrow.
Star Wars Andor is more, sophisticated than A New Hope.
Here's how I see it. Someone brings you a tray of brownies. I love brownies. They're great. And you say, yeah, but you know what? There's a tiny piece of poop somewhere in these brownies. Do you still want to eat the brownies? And apparently these guys are like, we still love the brownies.
Hell yeah, we want to eat these brownies.
We're going to eat the brownies just to spite everybody because we know better than everybody else.
Are you feeling lucky, punk?
I mean, the fact that they would go out and just say, "Oh, Andor is space Jesus, he's Star Wars genius, Jesus." It's sad.
Have you seen? I've dropped it in private chat. At least I hope I have. Otherwise, public chat, you can see it too. Star Wars Starfighter is announced some new cast members.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Possibly one of the most annoying fucking idiots the UK has ever produced. So sorry about that. So
is
outside of the UK,
is that the one from the In-Betweeners I saw?
Yeah, he's very Marmite.
Yeah, I saw that on X, and I thought to myself, well, I put a little post out on X. I'm like, this is the most I couldn't care less announcement in the history of.
I replied with, I wasn't going to watch it. You don't need to convince me further. Just Jimmy is like you got Matt Smith in it, but this is just going to be the Star Wars Morbius, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Sorry, we're sidetracking from the scheduled program. Sorry,
it's fine. It's all Star Wars. It's all fake Star Wars.
This will be the next Andor.
Just pointing it out.
Yeah, if you don't understand, Starfighter, it dealt with more sensitive issues. It's more adult than the childish Star Wars films. Yeah, well, you know what? Fuck you, buddy.
Star Wars Starfighter. It's all inclusive.
I'm sure it is.
We have all kinds. We even have that guy in the hover chair that he can't walk, but we're going to put him in a Starfighter and he's going to save the day.
Some things are best left to video games. Which Star Wars actually, believe it or not, there were some decent Star Wars games around this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some games that were in production that could have done quite well. But Disney said no to that. We want, the shit game that came out recently. We want that. That's what we want.
Here's another article going over about calling Cassian the Jesus of the franchise, and how
who is the kind of the Star Wars Jesus? I mean, I would maybe say Alec Guinness's Obi-Wan. Not Yoda, because he's a fucking little green goblin. Come on.
I don't know, because I think Luke, in my opinion, might be the closest, because he's the one everyone pins their hopes on.
True, but he drinks green milk from the cows.
We're not talking the fake Star Wars stuff. We're talking the real Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, that makes more sense. There's no green milk in those films.
No.
There's no white milk in those films.
No, there's some blue milk, and I'm okay with blue milk. I draw
the line at green.
Draw the line at green. Don't need no green milk. I gotta tell you, I'm sorry. I'm still trying to get over the whole rescheduling thing and losing the stream and starting over again. It's still got me frustrated, man. If I had hair, I'd pull it out.
The 5s and 5s of our community, they completely understand. It's fine.
Yes, they do. I appreciate every single one of them. You guys are great. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for sticking it out with us. We're going to get through this, and then hopefully next week, bigger, better things.
Hell yeah.
But right now, we got some other goofy stuff.
Jacksonville, how you doing, man?
Oh. Hey. Glad you're here. You missed the bumpy start.
Not completely not our fault though, and I'm not joking. That there's no DSP-ness here. Okay, it was literally Restream or YouTube. One of those sons of bitches.
Something happened. All of a sudden, like, nope, you don't get the live stream today.
Trying to silence us. Trying to silence the true media.
Surprised at how fast I was able to get things back on track.
We did good.
Like one of those NASCAR pit crews has come in and just throw on 4 new tires and fill it up with gas and get it on its way.
Steve was responding quickly to the threat, and I was just in Discord saying, "Stats report, Mr. Sulu, just taking the piss." Anyways,
yes. Star Wars has just been garbage since Disney took it over. Another franchise, beloved, that has just been garbage. Doctor Who.
You got to be pretty pretty fucking ballsy, haven't you? When you know that you must know all the feedback isn't coming back very good, and you just start like putting your photo out there in front of the property that you destroy, or help to destroy. To be fair, not just her fault, multiple people involved.
True, but I mean, she's out here saying that casting Jodie Whittaker as the first female Doctor and Ncuti Gatwa as the first Black Doctor wasn't some bold step into culture wars. It was normal. It was just simply as it should be.
But the fact that you're using the term first proves otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if it was just the normal, then you wouldn't have to say the first something. You just say, Ncuti Gatwa was a doctor. You keep bringing it. It's like you guys are the ones that keep making this narrative, not everybody else. We just want to watch a decent TV program.
YouTube is pulling a lot of stuff recently. They are.
Indeed.
And so is and so has Bad Wolf with Doctor Who stuff. Yeah, I mean, if all this was normal, then we wouldn't really have to worry about what's going on. But instead, you're trying to push a narrative. All the what is it? When Jodie, I can't remember if it was the first episode of hers or the second, but someone asked him, aren't you supposed to be a man? She goes, I got an upgrade. Like, oh Lord.
And she had the line, didn't she, in the Ncuti finale or something, like she was the best doctor or some BS. I can't remember. But yeah, there's a theme. There's a running theme there. But, it should just be normal, though.
Yeah, I mean, I know we've talked about this to death, and it's just how hopefully this is, Doctor Who moving into a new wilderness, era. Let's let it rest for 10, 15 years and possibly come out on the other end with some good Doctor Who.
I think you could, if you had if you had the right people, you could get it back up and running in like 2 years.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, if you were exceptionally good, and you could get everything kind of firing on all cylinders, you had, unknown cast, so you didn't have to worry about people being dragged over projects. You just brought some new kind of unknown people in. Maybe you could get it done in a year and a half, and you could have it, just action sequences straight out of the gate. This is what we're doing. Doctor Who's back. Such and such. You never heard of him. He's not been in sex education, so you don't need to worry about that. All new, all different Doctor Who. We're not going to talk about anything that's happened yet. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but and you just focus your marketing on the future of this Doctor and what's going on, and throw a Dalek in. Fuck it, there's nothing that could make it go worse, and you could. I don't believe, thinking back now, I can't even remember what I thought kind of a few months ago, because I think you could bring it back and you could repair it, but it's just there isn't the people around, and the BBC won't allow those people around to do it. So
that's the big thing right there. The BBC, they're the ones keeping anybody who might be able to fix this far away. They don't want it.
And then they're saying, well, we're spending too much money and we don't really make any money, and nobody's really watching our programming, and we should get free advertising. It's like, well, maybe you should just stop. Well,
we have Billie Piper, that's the last image anybody's going to see of Doctor Who for a while, and it's just her goofy ass grin.
I mean, there are worse. It could have been Jo Mine. It could have been a close up of her face, like fucking, jump scare warning. But you could, in my vision of Doctor Who, you could leap from that if you wanted. You go, oh, Billy's here, and I'm the ghost of Doctor's past or something, and whatever. Give her a Christmas special or something, if you must, to look through, the decent Doctors, CGI a little bit. You could do a little Christmas special on it, and then boom, TARDIS smashing through something. Some unknown actor coming out saying something quippy. Sydney Sweeney coming out as the companion.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Fixed. Billion viewers overnight.
Excellent.
Yeah, crack a barrel with $1 billion advertising campaign. Yeah, it's easy. Easy.
Yeah, I mean, it would be great. It would be awesome. I mean, just the last scene of classic Doctor Who was just Sylvester McCoy and Sophie Aldred. I think Aldred. The Doctor and Ace walking off into the sunset, literally walking off into the sunset, saying, we got more adventures to go. I think, and that was it. They could have, as much as I didn't want to see Ncuti continue as a Doctor, they could have done something like that where he could have, said, okay, what's next? And the TARDIS could have spun off into the void, and, like you said, maybe have a Christmas special, and then bada bing, bada boom, we get a new Doctor.
And then but it just would have been more shit, though, wouldn't it? Under the current regime, it would just be more shit. It just needs to be given to someone else to familiar with the content, that wants to appreciate it and respect it. Give it the occasional nod. Goddamn, there are probably some people out there thinking what RTD did with the Renai, with Omega, I would kill to do, because I would have did this, and this. And I think we discussed, didn't we, at the time, I had a couple of ideas, and I don't know who any of these characters are, and they would have been infinitely better than kind of what they did. Omega was on screen for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute?
With that.
Just, God. And it was just a reskin of the dog from series 1. You know, it just was. You know, the CGI had just been retooled. That's all they did. You know.
Chris, what you're saying would be so cool and creative. You know, the thing those activists absolutely love, lack creativity. I've been saying that for years now.
Steve would probably be more better suited to it because he understands and has seen all the classic stuff, and I haven't, you know, kind of got around to any of that stuff yet. But you just need someone with a bit of passion for the brand.
Yeah,
you could figure everything else out. But this is the problem: we want Eric from Sex Education going around, you know, with a floppy dildo as his sonic screwdriver.
Well, that's another thing that pissed me off. The fact that they changed the sonic screwdriver into some TV controller mouse thing. What is that?
Straight to landfill. Straight to fucking landfill. All of it. I mean, I put a post out, I think, this morning joking about the Doctor Who Shooty figure. Again, I think an oldie but goldie from kind of last year. You know, just...
If RTD was worried about shooting using the sonic screwdriver for something else, just don't let him have it.
Mm. I mean, did he really use it for anything?
Yeah, I can remember he did some stuff with it, but it was so. I mean, the fact that we gotta wonder, did he do anything with it, makes you like that's how uncreative everything was. No one cared.
Yeah, because they have no reason to care. But you could give them a reason to care with, you know, just a little bit of, you know, genuine passion for the material and not genuine passion for what people do in their bedrooms.
Yeah. And if Jodie and Shooty are the DEI hires of Doctor Who and stuff, then this just fits right in with everything else that they're doing. The Doctor Who spinoff, the war between the land and the sea. We get an update.
The one about climate change.
Yeah.
Because, you know, just that guy, Steve, he's rented a weeb. He's in a lot of UK programming, and he's fucking annoying.
I remember seeing the first time I ever saw him was in oh crap, I can't remember the name of the show. He was a werewolf. There's a werewolf, vampire, and a ghost. I love that show.
He's like the UK Pedro Pascal. You know, he found fame in one thing, and now every UK show wants to put him in it.
Well, he's been in Doctor Who before. He was in the Titanic episode.
Yes, yeah. And that's where he should have stayed.
And apparently, you know, he's just down Captain Jack's alley, because Captain Jack ends up hitting on him at the end of Tennant's regular run. And he goes,
"That was fine. That was, I know she with that. That was a quick little callback to the Christmas episode, because you didn't really know what happened to the guy, and there he is again. Fine, no issue with that. And you know, there's no issue with Captain Jack being gay, and we've already established. No. Just about, you know, making the story having the folks being gay, you know.
But here we have Mr. Russell Tovey saying that the series is set in our world, and climate change is a huge factor. It needs to be factored more into art so we can really get an understanding of it.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. When you go to watch a program with Doctor Who in the title, you want excitement, you want bright flashing colors and images, you want kind of funny characters, you want, you know, the occasional little bit of drama, you want fast pacing, you want decent music. You don't want to hear the words climate change.
Yeah, I do not need to see Sea Devils, you know, coming out and saying, "You're destroying our oceans and we're mad and we're going to take you to court."
Isn't that the plot for Wakanda Forever, isn't it? Is that what Namor? He invaded Wakanda or something, isn't that? I don't know.
I honestly, I mean, I didn't watch that garbage movie.
Is Namor in this? I mean, you know.
No, he's not in this.
He just pops out with his trident.
And this calls back to the lack of creativity. We can't think of a good story. If you want to have
just look at it. Sorry, just look at this. Like, so set the focus on Russell Tovey's Barclay, a normal man. Barclay. Let's just do a quick census. How many people in the UK or on the planet called Barclay? Barclay is not the name of a normal man. That's the name of the son of the 3rd Earl of Shittown. So, you know what I mean? It's like everything about this. You know what I mean? They just don't have a clue. They don't know what normal people are like, or go through, or talk like, or called. Apology.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, it's nobody running Doctor Who right now knows anything about Doctor Who. They're just using the IP as a platform for social change and social justice. They want to push all their we need a woman doctor and a black doctor. Well, let's use Doctor and just force them in there. You know, oh, we need something to talk about climate change. Let's have a Doctor Who spin-off show and just make it all about climate change.
But it's not going to change anything because nobody wants to hear it. And they may get like the curiosity views for the first episode, but if they go in hard with this from episode 1, they're going to see a much more radical drop-off than they saw with Doctor Who. You know, the drop-off from Doctor Who is going to be fucking nothing compared to this because people won't come back for episode 2.
Here's what I'm hoping, and I'm praying for this.
It'll get deleted and it gets lost.
That's plan B. What I'm really hoping for is that when this comes out on Disney, they bring in 1 episode a week. If they have to bring 2 episodes out the first week and then 1 episode every other week and every week, that's fine. I want them to do it. I want them to do it on a regular schedule. It's going to come out at a certain time. I am going to get online, do a live stream of an anti-watch party.
It probably will be because it'll probably follow the BBC lead, won't it? And I don't think the BBC will drop it all in one go. It probably will be weekly.
So I saw other YouTubers do this for stuff like Andor and the other garbage Star Wars shows. They had anti-watch parties. I thought, you know what? That's a great idea. I wish I'd done that for Doctor Who, but I'm going to do it for this. We're going to have some anti-watch parties. We'll talk trash. We'll dive into some other people's live streams while they're watching it, make fun of them. I will absolutely make fun and judge people watching this show. This show is going to be trash.
It's going to be worse than Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And that's set a pretty low bar in itself.
Now, the first time Doctor Who did a spinoff, Torchwood. Torchwood was a good spinoff. Now, mind you, Chris Chibnall had a lot to do with that, and we saw what he did later on. But I think, like we said about RTD, I think there were some guardrails up.
Yeah,
that Chris Chibnall couldn't cross, and he was kind of forced to make good stuff.
I mean, this was probably still when Torchwood came out. This was still at a time where, episode 1 was the sex alien, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I know for a fact they went to the BBC with that one, and that's why he got a late night slot in the UK. In the UK, I don't know if you guys just had it whenever. But in the UK, it was on like 9 or 10 o'clock in the evening. It was like late. And I was like, what the hell's up with this? And he watched episode 1 and was right, okay, that's why. And I think, that just kind of plays into that thing. It's like, okay, you can have this episode because it's supposed to be grittier and stuff, but you're not having anywhere near a time slot where children could watch it. You're going to be fucking right into the evening there, boys. Whereas now, they would have put that on at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, evening, but it's early evening.
Jake says here, the first Doctor being a little black kid is as far as their creativity goes. They damage this IP so much that honestly, I have no idea how they're going to recover from all that.
We just talked about that, Jake. You can do it if you have the passion for it, and you don't have to deal with the bullshit from the BBC and from activist writing. You could do it. You could have that show back up and running in about a year and a half, 2 years. I'll tell you what I was going to say. It disappeared because of the rage of listening to this stuff, but it kind of came back. The Office spin-off, The Paper, has got a chap in there. I can't remember his name. He seems familiar. I want to say he's from Harry Potter, but the red-headed chap. I think. I can't remember his name. But if you were that interested, you could watch the trailer. But I don't know. I don't think he's been much because he seemed like quite a young guy. He seems quite charismatic. Probably not fit for The Paper because that show is going to fucking bomb. But there is your first go for a Doctor. There you go. Boom. Get him in. Okay. He's got a little bit of experience of acting. Nobody really knows him. His schedule is going to be freed up or whatever. So you just hit the ground running. Just someone like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to. You could say he's the first ginger Doctor if you really want. Would you think that would resonate, Steve?
I think so. In fact, if I know we've talked about this before, but I'll say it again. The only way you can fix Doctor Who is if you retcon the last 2 Doctors, so that's 2.5 Doctors out. I count the second appearance of Duchovny, as
David Duchovny is an old grittier Doctor, like a war Doctor.
David Tennant. I meant to say David Tennant. I've been watching a lot of X-Files.
How's he looking now? How's he looking in his older age? Has he got a bit of a grayish tint to him, Steve? Could we bring him in? Could he,
He might be a gritty old veteran Doctor, but I don't know if I'd want to put him in. He might be a little bit too left for our tastes. If I'm trying to redo the Doctor, I don't want to.
But if you have a director and a creative team, and he says, "Oh yeah, but what about Palestine?" You go, "Shut the fuck up! I don't want to hear that shit. Now get the fuck back on there and do what I've told you to do, idiot."
I could see him being a Doctor.
That's what you need.
Yeah,
but what about the Minecraft side? I don't give a fuck about that, mate. Let's just get on making the show, shall we? Come on, time is money.
You retcon the last 2.5 Doctors, make them non-existent. Have Capaldi wake up from a dream, and he actually is regenerating. He had a really bad dream, and he regenerates into David Duchovny. You have him for 1 series, just to kind of boost the series, and then you bring in the redhead kid, as a youthful, and just let him run.
That worked. Because I'm just thinking again. Do you mean like this is nothing? This is like minimal brain power. But yeah, you could have, you could work on everything we've just been saying. Billie Piper could be the heart, the conscience of the TARDIS or whatever you want, and she goes, we bring Duchovny in somehow. Right? Okay, he regenerates, and we walk him through some of the bad things the Doctor's done, and she goes, right, you need to pay penance for some of the bad things you've done, and what you've just done. You may unfortunately have to refer to Ncuti for a split second, but there's a price that you need to pay, and your price right now is that you're in this kind of older body. You don't get to run around anymore, and you could do some interesting things. A 6-episode series, and then, like you say, and it could even be seasonal. A couple of episodes over the season, and then just to get your bases ready, film your new series, and you bring your actor in.
Well, the John Pertwee's Doctor, he was stranded on Earth for a lot of his run. He didn't go anywhere, so you could absolutely do something else like that. Like, hey, you've been bad. You're being grounded for a while. We're going to regenerate you, and we're going to stick you on Earth for a while just to, deal with your mistakes.
See, I wouldn't necessarily retcon the last two Doctors. I probably just wouldn't refer to them. I'd maybe, like I said, refer to, because the whole shooty bullshit thing would probably be, my catalyst jumping off point, saying, you really fuck things up here. Like, you've changed things more than ever they should have, and now this is what you now need to do. And maybe it could be a three-parter, Steve. Maybe the TARDIS is going to remain closed until you fucking figure yourself out, and it could be, I don't know, something Christmas Day, New Year's, or something like that, and then you go into. He regenerates into the new guy, and it's all next year.
The only reason I would want to retcon is to get rid of the timeless child stuff.
Yeah,
just get rid of that.
I'm sure. Yeah, you could write that out somehow. You could make the fugitive Doctor was actually the villain all along.
That
could you imagine that? That'd get him. that'd get him upset on the interweb, Steve. The fugitive Doctor, everyone's favorite.
She's actually another version of the Rani.
Yeah, she's evil. She duped all you idiots. But we have a superior white Doctor who, yeah. Oh, that. But you could use that to write that story out of existence, and you could recast if she, Joe Martin's like, oh no, I don't want to do, because that would be racist to, okay, no problem. You regenerated because you were out for too long, and I'll bring someone in that will play the role, and there will be someone that will want to play that role.
Exactly.
Gillian Anderson.
Who?
And you can have Mulder and Scully on the screen at the same time.
It's funny that you brought up Namor when we're talking about the Land thing, because here he is. He's apparently someone was chatting him up, and he talks about his filming Avengers Doomsday and Namor's return to the MCU.
We didn't care in Black Panther 2. We're not going to care in Doomsday. All eyes are going to be on Robert Downey Jr. No one is going to give the tiniest fuck.
The only thing I hope is, well, first off, he wasn't Namor in Black Panther. He was somebody else. He was He was some Aztec warrior thing. They completely.
So it was kind of in name only. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they completely gutted the character.
That surprises me. I've never known them to do that.
Everything that made, Namor's character, they took his entire backstory and gutted it and made a completely new backstory for Namor. And their excuse was, oh, Aquaman just came out. He's from Atlantis. We don't want to confuse people.
Oh my God.
We don't want to confuse anybody. So we're going to make him from an Aztec.
You'd rather be confused, but then go, oh, right, well, this character seems cool, so I'm going to go with it. Then what the fuck is this?
Talking about, writing and being creative.
Yeah.
If Marvel Comics and the MCU knew anything about creativity, when the Black Panther movie came out, Black Panther 2, they could have had comic books come out and done a lot of stuff to point the normies in Namor's direction, during the press tours and stuff. They could say, oh, you know what? Marvel has these comics coming out that if you don't know who Namor is, you can jump on this comic. You can find out who Namor is, and he's a great character. Can't wait to see him in the movie. You're going to be excited, and you're going to want to go read the comic book. But instead, they're like, yeah, we're just going to gut the character. We're not going to, we don't really care. Don't really care.
No, I agree. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I've just sent you something. We've got shout out to Mushy Peas. She's on X and she's just kind of posted something to this stream link. As a suggestion for you. So I don't know if you want to have a little look at that. But shout out to Mushy Peas, one of the OGs.
Yes. I'm trying to click on this.
Yeah, I agree. You know, no one cares. Yeah, and we're not rewatching this film for no more, Aztec or not Aztec. They're just not. It's just leave him. I don't know how it ended on Black Panther 2, if he died or whatever, but leave him.
Well, apparently he didn't. Apparently he didn't die since he's going to be back.
Somehow, Namor returned.
Yes. Speaking of Mushy Peas, let's instead of an anti-watch party, you should all do a best of Torchwood watch party during the land sea. That's not a bad idea.
Why have one when you can have both?
Exactly. You can all watch that goofy land and sea, show, or we can have a watch party of Torchwood and enjoy good spin-off shows. When they actually had a little more creativity than they do now.
And restraint.
Yeah.
They had, one way or the other. If it wasn't from internally, it was from external factors. You can't do this. If you do this, you're going on a way later time slot. No more.
The fact that the first season of Torchwood, Jack had the Doctor's hand, and it ended up being a way to have his character go from the end of Torchwood to being in the last 3 episodes of season 3 of Doctor Who, and then jump back into Torchwood and keep going. That was amazing. That was great.
And that hand, we still used that hand, didn't we? Later in 4, didn't we?
I think so.
Series 4, Journey's End. It's I think maybe they went a little bit too adult with Torchwood, maybe. And I think because the problem is when you're putting Doctor Who in its I think it would have been 6 p.m. kind of time slot, there's no doubt about it. I know we say sometimes it's not a kids program, it is a kids program, but there are going to be children watching it. And it just makes it a bit difficult. It's like what happened with Superman. Well, hopefully we're going to talk about this Sunday. With what happened with Superman and Peacemaker, James Gunn rushed out the digital release of Superman because of Peacemaker, and then the first episode is a drug binged orgy. I was like, well, do you want younger? I mean, young adults, however you want to word it. The kids that could watch Superman. You've linked the 2 properties, and maybe the parent doesn't know. And goes, oh, well, okay, let's give it, because, series 1 didn't have too much of that stuff to my knowledge. And then you go into, thanks, James, well done.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I know he did some goofy stuff with Creature Commandos. And I thought, all right, it's an animated thing. He's just trying to get the DCEU up, or DCU, or whatever he's calling it. He's trying to get that up and running. And an animated show is the best way to get it started, because you don't have to worry about actors, acting. You can just get them to do the voices, and that's it. I enjoyed Superman. I thought it was a good movie. And then to hear about Peacemaker season 2 coming out with the orgy and the drugs, do I want to watch anything else now from James Gunn? I mean, this is another thing. This is like a RTD thing.
Mm-hmm.
In his first go around, he had a tight leash on him. And then his second go round, he was free to do whatever he wanted. And we saw what happened.
Yep.
When James Gunn was doing the Guardians of the Galaxy, he had, I guess, probably not a relatively tight leash, but he had defined parameters. He had, guardrails.
Yeah.
And here over in the DCU, he's free to do whatever he wants, which is what we see with Peacemaker. He's just letting all his freak fly.
He's acting like a 14-year-old boy.
Yeah. I don't need to see that in my superhero stuff.
It could potentially cost you though, because if you have families that when kind of parents with older kids that will want to go see Superman, and you rack that up, and then kids, let's all sit around and watch Peacemaker because James Gunn has brought Superman out early because of Peacemaker, so it must be, it must be fine, and it must link into watch, and you buy Superman on digital, and you watch it again, and go right, okay, kids, let's watch Peacemaker. And then, that's, you don't get that kind of trust back. And I know maybe it's a bit old fuddy-duddy thinking, but you're going to lose a little bit of box office over that, I think. A little bit. Because these people are not going to give you the same opportunity again. Parents won't, anyway.
I know Amazon has The Boys. And I'm not a big fan of that either. I don't need the edgy, nihilistic...
it's so overdone. It's boring at this point, Steve.
I mean, everybody, if I come out with a superhero show, it's got to be dark and edgy and nihilistic, and the lead has to be a drunk, or he has to have some sort of drug problem, or he's got to have some dark issue that he's got to struggle with.
Then on the flip side of that, the villain has to be misunderstood, and are they really a bad guy? Could you imagine trying to make a Western like kind of now with the same kind of rules kind of applied? You wouldn't be able to do it.
Mm-mm.
You couldn't have like a tale of revenge and all that kind of stuff. Could it be, we should let the bad guy go because, he's just like us, really.
Troy slaughtered that town, but he had a good reason.
I mean, his dad misgendered him.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that could be too soon, actually, just thinking about something that's happened. But that wasn't meant to be a direct reference. But, point made.
Yeah, that's why I liked the new Superman movie. It was bright. It was hopeful. The lead character, Superman, wasn't dark and brooding like the Man of Steel. It wasn't like, he was constantly, in agony mentally and physically, like, the weight of everything on me. He's just like, I got to save people. I want to help people. I'm here. I'm going to do good. Let's go do good. And that's what I like my superheroes to do. I want my superheroes to go out and be a force for good and be a role model to kids. I know kids aren't going to be able to be Superman. They're not going to be able to fly and fight off giant monsters, but at least, be a decent human being.
Yeah.
Like Superman.
Yeah. It's instilling the morals, etc., etc.
But now it's like, hey, kids, watch Peacemaker. Are you upset? Are you down in life? Do a bunch of coke and have an orgy. That'll just brighten your day.
Words to live by.
What do you do for Christmas, Steve? Well, let me tell you.
Let me tell you the fun I had.
You never believe what was under my tree. Yeah, it just really just. I don't want to sound like an old fuddy-duddy, but
yeah,
I'm going to. We don't need any more dark, damaged heroes. I mean, because at the end of the day, they're not even heroes anymore. They're
that's I mean, you come at it from a different angle, don't you? They just it's not about kind of being old. It's boring. Every story is like this now. It's time to go back to the original format to just kind of freshen things up a bit. And then maybe you can add like an edgy character in again if you want. And you can see how, but you have to keep the original character, as is. And then you can have those two, because that's when things become interesting, when you have two genuinely different kind of characters interacting. Not everything is edgy.
I'm not saying you can't have something wrong with the character, but I mean, I think Marvel did it right.
Steve.
Marvel did it right. Peter Parker, Spider-Man, he was trying to deal with school. Trying to, he was always seen as the nerd, and how do I balance being seen as a nerd in school yet having the ability to just destroy everybody in this school? I gotta play that off. Or when he gets into college, he's got, I got bills to pay, I got grades to keep up, plus I got to go fight Doc Ock at 3. What are we doing?
I completely agree.
So I have no problem with characters having issues. My own character in a Deadlock, Eddie, he's got issues, but they're not they're not so bad that they weigh the entire story down, and it's just dark and nihilistic, and he can't go on.
You spend like an hour kind of having to go over and kind of explain this, and it's like it just drags the story down. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, not to give spoilers away, but there's a point in the book where basically he is feeling sorry for himself, and somebody comes up to him and is like, "Stop it! I mean, you look at what you have. Why are you being like this? You have the potential to be so much more, to help so many people, and all you want to do is lay here and feel sorry for yourself. What's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
And he starts going, "You know what? You're right."
Yeah.
And that just spins him right around, and that's probably the darkest the story the entire first book gets. And I've got a lot of feedback saying that was one of the best parts of the whole book. So
it's about being interesting.
You can have a good superhero story without them, having to have an orgy just to make themselves feel better.
Yes.
It doesn't need to be some blood and guts. Everything's just, snapping necks and ripping people in half, and we can do this without it.
Indeed. Yeah.
All right.
Completely agree. And it would make the story more interesting for it.
Okay, that was me on my soapbox. Steve's soapbox. Let's have a little. Well, trying to have a little fun here. Let's do this, shall we? I saw this, and I want to get your opinion.
Collider again.
As a superhero fan, these are the 10 movies in the genre I rewatch the most by Safwan Azim.
And look, fair enough. He's putting his name on it. That he's not saying that you must watch or they are the best. Okay, fair enough. I'm going to give him a bit more leniency.
Yes, I have not thought about my top 10 superhero movies.
Nor have I, really.
Maybe I'll have to do that over the next week, and maybe next week I'll give you my top 10 superhero movies. But better for better or worse, these are the movies this guy likes, and I thought we'd go over them. See what gets him going.
Okay.
I don't know if these are in any particular order. I don't know if he's grading them, 10 to 1 or 1 to 10, but
I mean, maybe not. He hasn't numbered them.
He hasn't numbered them, so we'll just say these are his top 10 in no particular order. He starts out with The Dark Knight. I love this movie.
Yep.
It's
fantastic. It's as good as they come.
This probably would make my top 10.
Yep.
Good movie. I like Batman Begins too. I think the first two movies are great.
Yeah, I mean, I would take this one over Batman Begins and over the third one.
Yeah, the third one was a real disappointment. It dropped
was a
off
bit of a
hard.
miss, wasn't it? But you know, this is top tier. You know, in my opinion, yeah. So far, this is good.
Right. Next up, he has Spider-Man: No Way Home. Another good one.
Yeah. Okay.
I enjoy this one. I haven't watched it in a while. I'm probably due for a rewatch here soon.
Yeah.
Of this. Yeah, I mean, I know when the movie came out, a lot of the online magazines and stuff were saying how it was the fan service was too much. Shouldn't have too much fans. It was over the top, and that destroyed it for them. But in all honesty, it's the fan service that made this movie what it is.
Yeah, but it's not just it's not just the fan service, though, is it? They didn't just throw the characters in. They didn't just throw kind of the Toby Spider-Man and Andrew Spider-Man in. You go, oh, you remember these guys? There was a story, and they even connected, kind of the future kind of Spider-Man to kind of previous Spider-Man. It wasn't just kind of eye candy. There was a purpose for them being there. There was a purpose for the other villains being there. So amazing, isn't it? When you've got crap Disney films, they're all over it. Oh, this is amazing and stuff. But when kind of Disney and Sony do something moderately good, they can't help but pick fault.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Amy said she loved Batman Begins and The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
She has good taste.
Indeed.
What's next on this guy's list? Let's take a look. X-Men: Days of Future Past. Another good one.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily my favorite X-Men film, but it's good. I don't think there's nothing wrong with it having it in the top 10.
Of the new X-Men, the first class X-Men, I think this is probably my favorite of that.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Era. I didn't mind the first X-Men First Class. I enjoyed that. It was a nice fresh take on the X-Men, showing them back in the 60s. I thought that was really cool. And this they did a good job of trying to bring the comic book to the screen while mixing all the new class, the original X-Men from the original 3 movies. I think they did a really good job of blending everything together.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, unfortunately, the 2 movies after this one, Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix, huge fall off.
Yeah,
huge fall off.
Do you know what? I couldn't even really remember those films properly until you said them.
Days of Future Past, weird title, great film.
It's a comic booky kind of title, isn't it?
It came from a comic book, so that's why it's comic booky sounding. But yeah, so far so good. I like these. I don't know if this will make it on my top 10 if when I go through, but
maybe not. But it's not offensive, is it? So far the guy's on track. He hasn't put any howlers in there. Again, look, same with this one. Look,
Captain America: Civil War. Absolutely, this will probably be on my top 10.
Yeah,
I love Captain America as a character, both in the comics and the movies. I think I think this movie did a really good job. Jake says Days of Future Past is his favorite X-Men movie.
I think a lot of people think that.
Yeah, I can't blame him. It's a great movie. I mean, you got Wolverine in it, which is everyone loves. You have the first class.
Yeah.
You have the original X-Men, coming in later. It's the best of everything, and that's another fan service movie, just like Civil War. It's like Avengers 2.5.
Mm-hmm. That is very true, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, Stark was right. Absolutely. I think they didn't quite frame the ending right for me. We were I feel we were made to feel to side against Stark because, you know, they're friend or whatever. But logically thinking about it, Stark was right. Stark was right throughout this film, to be honest. And I know, you know, they didn't want him to be the bad guy, but you were supposed to side with Captain America, I feel. But when you think about it, Stark was right. Stark was right throughout. You know, after Scarlet Witch nearly kills hundreds of people, you know, absolutely there should be some accountability because the stupid bitch nearly killed 100 people. And then when he finds out actually, you know, Captain America's best buddy murdered his parents, then absolutely, you know, Captain America saying, "Oh, but you know, he's okay now." Well, no, it's not okay now, is it?
Yeah.
You know, there needs to be some consequences. You know, there were never really any consequences for the Winter Soldier for his actions. So yeah, Stark was right, damn it. But overall, overlooking that little minor thing, brilliant film. One of my favorite kind of MCU films, you know, for sure.
Next, he has The Batman.
Okay.
Didn't watch it.
Okay.
Didn't really look like anything I was going to enjoy. I'm not a big Pattinson fan, so I just didn't really feel a need to watch it.
My partner wants to rewatch this or watch it, should I say, because she hasn't seen it. So, and you know, I've seen it once. I would maybe have seen it again, but just for the fact it's just too long.
Yeah.
It's a long old film, and the ending doesn't necessarily kind of reflect, you know, kind of the epic length of the film. But that being said, it's fine. You know, is it better than The Dark Knight? No, nowhere near it. But it's fine. You know, it's okay. There's nothing offensive. You know, there could be some lore things that people find offensive, but as I've seen with the Fallout TV series, you know, people will get upset about the slightest things. I mean, Patterson doesn't do a bad job. Yeah, there are some casting issues, in my opinion. I mean, Jim Gordon's casting, fine. Catwoman's, okay, you know, but she doesn't play a big role too much in it. I think, you know, it's fine. It's an average movie. It's better than Thunderbolts.
Yeah,
which is kind of relevant because I saw that for the first time, kind of yesterday or whatever. You know, I'd say this is probably about a 5, 6 out of 10. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, from everything I saw in it, I mean, Nolan did his Batman as a grounded Batman, and this one came in as even more grounded than that, and I just didn't like it. And I saw the way they played the Riddler.
I agree. Yeah, that wasn't great.
He looked more like some weird serial killer.
Yeah,
than the Riddler.
I feel that's kind of the villain they should have had for this because the tone matched that type of villain and not really the Riddler. I don't know why they went in that direction.
I mean, they could have had any number of villains,
you
know, come in here and grounded villains that if you wanted to keep it that way, to make a nice dark noir detective driven style Batman.
I think that's what they wanted, and it was close to being that, but the choices they made, you know, forced, you know, there was no way they were going to get to that point B that they wanted with the choices that they were making. Yeah, I think like what you said, you know, having it as a serial killer based thing, you know, like more thriller than superhero would have made this potentially kind of right up there. But, you know, they did what they did. It's like a watch once film. It's like I kind of worded this best with my thoughts on kind of Thunderbolts. It's like Thunderbolts is fine. You know, there are worse things that you could watch, but there are also much better things. So once you've seen it once, you don't really need to see it again because there's so many other better films worth your time. And I think this kind of maybe slots there. See it once, experience it, but then you don't need to see it again because there are better films. You know, Batman '89, The Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm. Amy says no interest in the Batman.
But what if the Batman has an interest in you?
Then there's going to be an issue. There's going to be a problem.
I was thinking of that kind of that meme in Soviet Russia. The Batman has, you know. But just to think, I don't think this is offensive to have on the guys list. So so far I don't think he's
No,
He's fluffed up. He's doing okay.
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea, but it's not, like I said, it's not offensive.
Indeed.
Hey, the Suicide Squad looks like it's the first one.
Yeah,
that one was a big stinker. I mean, come on.
I mean, I for what it was, I'd put it as like 3 out of 10. If we're using those kind of terms, I put it exactly like Thunderbolt. This is almost like, you know, kind of Thunderbolts. They're kind of yin and yang. You know, you see it once, you don't need to see it again. It's, you know.
Let's see. I've seen the Thunderbolts twice, and I enjoy it. And I've not seen this at all, and I don't feel like I'm missing anything.
We got Margot Robbie. There's one, you know, well, 2, depending on how you look at it, kind of appealing reasons to watch. Will Smith doesn't do a bad job. Idris Elba is a much better. I know it's different characters, but the role, Idris does a much better job. I mean, were there issues with Will Smith? I don't know if I'm pulling that from my ass, but I'm sure there was something to do with Will Smith having kind of issues, you know, kind of scheduling or whatever. And the guy that plays Rick Flag, you know, he was really good. The worst thing they did was kill him off. Spoilers, by the way. You know, you should have seen it by now, but that wasn't this film. I know that was whatever. I'm just saying in general.
I remember when this film came out, they were really pushing the Joker, and
that was the mistake. Yeah, that was the big mistake of this film. We didn't need it.
And the way he was made up as the Joker was just ridiculous. And I remember reading in an article somewhere that someone said that the cover that he was on, you know, with the grill and the tattoo with the smile on his hand and the tattoos on his face, someone was saying that's not how the Joker is going to be in the movie. This is just for this. And then you turn around and that's exactly the way the Joker is in the movie. I'm like, all right, no. Do
you know, that kind of would have been kind of useful to have if they had more time with the universe, but it was all on borrowed time from the looks of it, is you have him, but it turned out he's not the real Joker. And, you know, halfway through the film, he gets cut in half or something by the actual Joker or something. You know, that's kind of how I viewed it, you know, and I think he put a lot of method acting in for not really much reason, to be honest. But
yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't put Suicide Squad on my top 10. I'm not saying it's a horrible film. It wouldn't be on mine, you know.
No, nor mine. Here Amy says she liked the Thunderbolts too.
Yeah, it was fine.
Surprise! I mean, and Amy doesn't like a lot of new MCU stuff. So
it was fine. I did like a little tiny mini review on that, so make sure you check that out. But I don't need to see it again, you know.
Next, he has Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Okay, this is where I gotta go. All right.
Yeah, this is questionable.
Let's pump the brakes. Miles Morales is not Spider-Man. I know that's not new to anybody.
Heresy. Are we still talking about this in 2025?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. We are still saying this in 2025.
As long as he keeps getting pushed out in front of people, we're still going to keep saying Miles Morales is Miles Morales.
Yeah,
Peter Parker, Spider-Man. The worst thing that could have happened to Spider-Man, other than having him in the One More Day comic where he sells his, you know, loses his relationship with MJ, and they can't be together anymore. Is the Spider-Verse stuff they did, and just making 1,000 different spider characters. I mean, Dan Slott did. I mean, I don't know if it was his idea or they just told him to run with it. I mean, he's not a very good writer to begin with, and he just gave us the absolute worst Spider-Man run ever in the comic books. And what are we going to do when we want to make movies? We're going to tap into that and make these garbage Spider-Man Across the Universe movie.
Give these a little bit of leniency because they're animated, and maybe well, it's my opinion, so fuck off. But because it's animated, I don't really view it in the same league as the mainstream films. So it didn't offend me too much with, kind of being a Marvel film, because if they're going to stick anything, Marvel in anything, it's going to be animated, isn't it? It's a fine animation, but there are better animations to watch. Long Halloween, as an example. That's one of my first little footsteps into the Batman animated world, and they're brilliant. I love that. That's kind of my own personal to watch over Halloween. Funnily enough, you would have thought. But these films are not top 10 worthy. They're okay. If you want to watch, with your son, then or your daughter, even though Spider-Man's for boys. They're okay. They weren't offensive to me, but I don't think they're top 10. Again,
if you want to watch good Marvel animation, as a movie, I know in the early 2000s, Marvel came out with, I think they had an Iron Man animated movie. I know they had a Doctor Strange animated movie. They had Ultimate Avengers animated movie, and they were all fairly decent.
I mean, just wasn't TV series. They're all on Disney Plus.
So
the Spider-Man animated series, all that kind of stuff.
So I mean, there's infinitely better animation to watch than the Spider-Verse movies.
I agree. Yeah, but if you were forced to watch this, again, there are worse things that you could watch, but it's not top 10 worthy.
This is getting close to there are the worst things. So next we got Deadpool. I like Deadpool.
Yeah,
it's not something I need to watch all the time, though.
No.
Maybe I might rewatch it every 2 years. Maybe 3 years. Get the old itch to watch Deadpool, and the first one is probably the best.
I don't know. Deadpool and Wolverine for me, there's just something about it. Maybe it's because it's the first film I watched in the cinema for quite a while or whatever. Seeing the two characters alongside, maybe, but Deadpool, I've seen it once. I don't need to see it again. It's not offensive or anything. It's a good film, but there's a load of stuff in there. I'm just like, I don't need to see this again.
Deadpool. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's. I enjoyed the movie. I think, it was one of those movies where I wasn't expecting much, and when I saw it, it blew me away. And and after you watch it a time or two, you're like, all right. I don't hit
that point after one watch, and like you said, you watch it once, fine. Deadpool 2 was a bit meh. Again, I wouldn't think this is top 10 worthy. There's still quite a few films I'm thinking of in my head that we haven't seen yet. So yeah, I don't know. And if that offends Deadpool fans, it's not a bad film. It's a good film. Go on.
This would make it in my top 20.
Yeah, top 20, yeah.
But not top 10.
No. Sorry, Wade. Sorry, Ryan.
Avengers Age of Ultron.
Boy, oh boy, Again, it's not a bad film. Avengers Age of Ultron is not a bad film, but it's not Avengers either, though, is it? It's not Iron Man. It's not Civil War. It's not Winter Soldier. It's not Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, but I enjoyed Age of Ultron. I actually like watching it. I mean, I could rewatch this movie today. We could get done with this live stream, and I can go, you know what? I want to watch Age of Ultron.
You know what? I'm going to stick this on. But I don't think it's top 10 worthy.
Maybe top 15 for me.
Yeah, fair, maybe, but
we're
not talking about top 15. I just don't think there's too many films that we haven't seen yet. I just don't think. I don't think it's top 10.
Avengers Endgame.
There you go.
This absolutely should be in everybody's top 10.
Absolutely. Yeah, complete agreement.
Not Age of Ultron.
Yeah, I agree.
No, we're going to have to do a little re-education here at the old Hutler residence. Someone's have to sit down and rewatch that movie and have me explain to them why it's
the problem is to keep Age of Ultron in, you're probably going to have to push a decent film out, and that's the problem, because I haven't seen any of the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films yet.
That's true.
So but back on the task at hand. Endgame, brilliant. Everything's on point.
Mm-hmm.
What more can you say about that?
Yeah, it was well done. I enjoyed it. It was the only MCU movie my entire family went to see.
Yeah,
and we had to go outside of where we normally see movies for I can't remember if it was because of the coof or what, but I remember we had to go outside our normal viewing area, and we made that trip to watch it, and we all had a good time. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I got a little choked up when Cap had the hammer, and and he's like, everybody was behind him, and he said Avengers Assemble, and I got choked up.
Pretty badass. And seeing Stark go was one of the saddest things, and what they did with his legacy after that is unforgivable.
Yeah they completely destroyed him with that Ironheart crap. So
the thing with Ironheart was just the audacity to keep trying to drag his. They wanted to drag his name through the mud, but they knew they couldn't. So they had side characters do it, and then they had Ironheart try and correct them, but she's so based and amazing that she couldn't fully agree with it either. Say, well, why don't you all just fuck off into a bin?
All right, that's the guy's list.
Okay.
That's his entire list.
Okay. There's no Spider-Man. There's no Spider-Man 2. Immediately, Spider-Verse is coming out. Suicide Squad is coming out. Ultron maybe could stay. I mean, it's a bit later in the UK, so the only thing I can focus on is the Maguire Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2. I mean, I kind of prefer Spider-Man 1, if I'm honest, but I kind of still view them both on the same point. Both those films should be in anyone's top 10. How you can have Spider-Verse in there and not have that is insane. But it's his list. He didn't tell us that we had to agree with it, and I'm all for that. That's fine. If that's his list, no problem. I wouldn't agree with some of it, but and 60% of it is good. 70% of it is good, maybe, but he was letting the side down a little bit. That's the only thing I'm going to say. But from a Collider perspective, actually, that's pretty good going. It could get a lot worse.
Yeah, he could have had, some My Hero Academia movie in there or something, or
like that. Remember that other list we did, and it was just full of shit, and you're like, what is going on?
Amy's let me know. Yes, it was the coof that caused us to go outside our normal viewing area to watch Avengers Endgame. Like I said, the whole family was there. We all enjoyed it. It was an incredible time. A good time was had by all. Kind of like what we're doing now.
I think it wasn't too goofy here when we went to see it at the cinema. So I think maybe we were kind of, I can't remember what year it came out in or whatever, but when we went to the cinema, the slot we chose helped as well. I think maybe we went kind of during the day, kind of midweek. But I'm glad those years are behind us, and I'll never do that again.
Yeah, it came out in 2019, it said, and I know early 2019, like March, there things were starting to get a little weird here. and I think that came out in like May or June, possibly July. Things were getting a little more squeezed.
Annoying.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing was an inconvenience, and it did a lot of damage to people. Not that we'll spend too much time talking about this, but what governments did are unforgivable, and the fact that people still agree with it is insane.
Yeah. So that's all I got for this week. Well, I guess one more thing.
Oh yeah.
One more thing, if we could indulge me for just a bit.
Why the
I'm
hell
a
not?
writer. I write superhero fiction novels. I do what these guys that we just talked about for the last hour and a half can't do. Be creative. I got 3 novels. This is a novella. This is only like a little over 100 pages. But I have my books for sale.
Oh yeah.
If you want, you can go right here, scan a little QR code, and that'll take you to this page. And you can browse my books and help. I'd say starving, but I don't look like I'm starving. A starving indie author. Speaking of checking things out, check this guy out.
Why not?
Neon TARDIS. This will take you to Neon TARDIS's YouTube page, where I'm sure you can find links to everything else, including his website. Check his website out. He's got a Patreon. Go check that out.
Yeah. neontardis.com. Just head there. Yeah, that's got links to everything. We're doing good with the Patreon. Got two paid members now. It's £1 a month, $1.50, I think, for US guys. It's just to help keep the lights on. It's all appreciated. So the fact I've got 2 people kind of is amazing. Just like kind of when we stream and we've got kind of people watching and talking to us here, I always find that amazing. I was ultra appreciative of it. So instead of donating, $5 to Gary or $10 to Gary, buy a book from Steve. Subscribe to my Patreon. Why not?
I too have a Patreon. I have 2 members. They're right here.
Hell yeah.
But they're free. I mean, I appreciate them. I'm glad they're there. They're 2 fans, and I like that. The fact that
it's all support at the end of the day,
They decided to say, "Hey, Steve, we believe in you, and we want you to know that we believe in you," and I appreciate it for that. Thank you very much, guys. If you're watching, appreciate it. If you're not, it's okay. So had a crazy start to this thing. Had to jump off the original stream and
battle stations
and re-up and everything. So we appreciate everybody who stuck with us this long, all the way to the end. I know when people hear, all right, so this is all we have. I know a lot of people love to drop off the because I see it in the in the what is it? Hold on, I'll find it here. The analytics. You see everyone, they're watching the stream. Hey, we're done here. Just drops off. But everybody who's hung out this far, appreciate you guys. Thank you. We think you're great. You guys help us. You keep us going, and we're gonna keep doing good stuff for you guys.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
we're gonna
try to keep doing stuff. That's for sure. Whether it's good, that's I'm not signing off on that. I'm not going to be held accountable and being I'm not liable for that, folks.
I'm going to try to do good stuff.
I mean, I'm only watching this. I was told it was good, and this is trash. Well, it is not me. I didn't say that.
It was good from a certain point of view. It was good.
Perspective, isn't
it? So, Chris, thank you for being here. It's getting late in your part of the world, so I don't want to.
No problem, man. Always a pleasure. It's been a bit of a messy week. Haven't been able to do the streams I've wanted. We had to bump kind of Sunday stream, kind of KO Tuesday stream, and then kind of KO that again. But that's just the way these things go, unfortunately. But we will be back Sunday without fail, and there's a lot to talk about. I've had to suppress some stuff going into the kind of the docket for this week. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of stuff to talk about. Looking forward to it.
So I want to thank everybody for being here.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you much for sticking around and watching the whole thing. Appreciate you. You are a true OG fan. Love you. So, Chris, thank you.
No problem, man.
Thank you. And